Postaram się, ja przede wszystkim tak, nie ściszam ich, zamykam mordę, daję im gadać. A potem sobie wszystko podsumujemy. Klasycznie.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to GGG Live.
Co ty tu robisz?
Today we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Mirage, which is coming out 1 week from now on March 6th.
The Aphorod assault our lands, trapping my Jinn in an astral plane. Break their chains, rescue them, and you will be granted a wish.
Okej.
An ancient evil yearns for his freedom.
Zaresz.
We must keep him in the dark. Dobra, holy skille tam były, na pewno widziałem. Dam się tutaj, będzie chyba git, nie? Holy skille, imbuowane gemy. Jest ten hourglass cały trial, który wam mówiłem, że zastąpi nam Breacha. Mówiłem, że coś dodadzą w to miejsce.
In today's stream we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile Mirage, where you'll unravel ancient mysteries.
Na razie jeszcze
unlock
bez
new
podniety,
powerful
ale
rewards,
dobrze
and
to
become
wygląda.
part of the eons old story of the Winter Sekima. There are also significant in-game changes coming alongside Mirage,
I za rok, mówiłem.
including a progression of the in-game storyline, a new in-game atlas system, and as always, new rewards to match. After that, we want to talk about the slew of new Holy Templar skills and supports,
Fractured
as well as an
Atlas?
additional ascendancy class option added to the Scion, which some of you may find familiar. Next, we'll cover our new supporter packs, and then lastly, have a live Q&A session, where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile game director Mark, as well as game designer Octavian, your questions from Twitch
40
chat.
exceptional support
After
gemów
the live
wchodzi.
stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 AM NZT or 2 PM PST.
Sporo.
So let's get started. I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the new league.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile.
Da mi trochę głośniej, nie?
In Path of Exile
Oh, proszę.
Mirage, you'll be taking on the Aphorod, a sect of desert-dwelling necromancers who have lingered in the shadows for centuries. They are outcasts of outcasts, with no home or promised land. Instead, they seek their sovereignty through darker means. The Aphorod have captured the souls of Jinn throughout Rayclast. They are killing them, sapping their energies for purposes unknown. You must fight your way past the Aphorood's necromantic creations to find the captive Jinn. Here, Virashta, an ancient Marakith sorceress, has been doing what she can to protect the Jinn, but she needs your help to free them. After successfully defeating them, you will then be asked by Virashta to enter the Astral Realm and break the tether trapping the Jinn there.
Okej.
This gate to the Astral Realm is a mirage, an imperfect copy of the area around the captured Jinn. Now, when we say an imperfect copy, we mean that quite literally. Hold tight, because this leak mechanic has some serious implications for juicing areas.
Dobra.
We'll get to that in a moment. Virashta can augment the magic of the Mirage further, as she allows you to enter, giving you the option to choose one of 3 wishes before you do so.
Aha.
Is your desire?
These wishes are modifiers that will apply to the Mirage area and have some pretty potent outcomes. There are wishes that grant extra rewards,
Okej.
such as the wish for glyphs, which causes all portal and wisdom scrolls in the Mirage to instead drop as other currencies. Or wishes that will spawn rewarding enemies,
Troszkę tak należy.
such as the wish for avarice, which replaces a number of packs in the area with gilded enemies that convert their equipment drops to gold. And wishes that can grant you extreme power while inside the Mirage,
Soul Eater.
such as the wish for souls or the wish for godhood,
Okej.
which allow you to consume the souls of your enemies, or make you completely unkillable, while within the Mirage, of course.
Okej.
Each wish is also marked with the sigil of one of 3 powerful Djinn. The Sand Djinn, Fire Djinn,
No, znamy ich.
or Water Djinn.
Jak
Depending
najbardziej.
on the sigil chosen, monsters within the affected Mirage will have a small chance to drop one of 3 new coin currencies.
O!
A coin of knowledge, coin of power, or coin of skill.
O kurwa.
Each of these coins can be used on a max-leveled skill gem, corrupting it and augmenting it with a random support that matches the color of the coin
Czy mamy
used.
7-linka za darmo? Darmo.
Only one skill that is imbued this way can be socketed into a given equipment item at a time, meaning you cannot have 2 imbued skill gems in your body armor, as an example.
Okej.
Choose what you wish.
That's one of the rewards, but let's get back to the area-to-area mechanic.
7-linki. Ja cię, ale będzie
Once
na tym
you've made
można
your choice of
zarabiać.
wish, enter the Mirage and fight your way through the monsters and astral hazards
Dobrze.
to find the tether holding the Djinn. Shatter this chain to free the Djinn, step by step weakening whatever dark plans the Ufarood may have for Rayclast. Wishes are not the only value a Mirage has to offer to an enterprising exile. As we mentioned earlier, Mirages are an imperfect copy of the area the Djinn occupies in Rayclast, and it will copy almost anything, as long as it's within the domain of the Djinn. Mirages created from an endgame map, for instance, will have all Scarab, Atlas, and map modifiers the area had.
Okej.
Mirages created next to a strongbox will have a new strongbox ready for you to open.
O ja
Blights can be
pierdolę.
defended again,
Strongboxy się duplikują w Mirażu? W sensie te, które wcześniej odtworzyłeś?
legions fought once more, and so on.
Wszystkie mechaniki, okej.
Effectively, you get a portion of your map to play a second time, and everything you did to enhance the content of that map applies in the Mirage too.
Jeżeli się Blight tam
These
zrespi, to
recreated
fajne.
copies of League mechanics, however,
Bardzo
have
fajne.
been warped into reality by the power of the Mirage. And this has some side effects.
Okej,
For
czekaj.
one, a
Czekaj,
recreation may not be perfect. The factions of a legion may differ from the one the Mirage copied,
Okej.
or the variety of strongboxes may change. More importantly, the mechanic may be empowered, with new threats and rewards that are customized to each mechanic and are only available when doing that mechanic in the Mirage. For example, ultimatums recreated in Mirages will have new threatening modifiers added to the usual pool. Restless Ground can raise slain enemies to fight again, or Quicksand will grasp at your ankles. As a reward for these new threats, Mirage ultimatums can provide the new Sinistral or Dextral catalysts.
Nowe katalisty.
These catalyze jewelry with increased effect of either
Suffix
prefix or
modifiers.
suffix modifiers. As you can imagine, there's a lot of potential here.
O kurde.
Another example is that Kalgurin ore recreated in the Mirage
O
has a chance to be
kurwa.
replaced by a thaumaturgic hourglass, a powerful magical device that your Kalgurin friends can mine in order to obtain vast quantities of thaumaturgic dust.
Ty to ja robię Jaga z Stremstakera w takim razie.
Blight encounters recreated in Mirages have one of their lanes replaced by Ufarood enemies,
To jest bardzo dużo.
infested with Blight.
Bardzo dużo to
This
jest.
lane can reward a new base type, the Cord Belt. The implicit of this belt allows it to be anointed, causing it to grant a passive tree notable of your choosing.
Co ty pierdolisz?
As a quick note, Imprisoned Djinn will generally
Double
be
anointy
near
na
the
każdej
content they
postaci
can
z tym
empower
pasem
in
w
the
takim razie.
Mirages. So you don't need to worry too much about getting lucky with where your content generates in an area. As the campaign doesn't generally contain too much additional League content for the Mirages to empower, we've gone and added a whole bunch that will force spawn near the Djinn.
Okej.
So your campaign experience will double down on being more action-packed and rewarding.
Ty to możesz triple anointa na tym cyklonie moim mieć
Now,
teraz.
of course, if you're traveling through Mirages, encountering new enemies, and slaying them,
dokładnie
you
tak,
can
Tripper.
expect to find some new uniques.
Dokładnie tak.
The Ufarood are not only torturers, but thieves, and have over the centuries stolen away priceless Maraketh artifacts. Using their powers of rot and disease, they have twisted these items to suit their own purposes.
Lecą mam dropy? Dajcie znać.
Flesh Render is one such artifact, an ancient and exquisite Maraketh blade that has been tarnished and befouled. Its rusted and jagged edge is perfect for poisoning and withering your enemies.
Teraz.
However, Varashta has in her command the power to restore these once lost Maraketh treasures to their former glory. Acquiring a coin of restoration by slaying monsters in Mirages allows any unique obtained from the Afarud to be transformed into its Maraketh counterpart, its glorious original form. Flesh Render, for example, transforms into Sky Sunder,
Czyli masz double
the
unikaty de
original
facto.
Maraketh blade that radiates with the glowing heat of the desert sun. When you ignite monsters, Sky Sunder reflects that ignite back to you, which proliferates to nearby enemies in a massive area.
O kurwa.
If you meddle with the affairs of the Afarud for too long, though,
Oho.
you may draw the ire of the Mirage League's new endgame boss,
Dobra, git.
Saresh
Yes,
of
Saresh.
the Weeping Black.
Mówiłem.
Saresh also has a set of powerful, exclusive items. Yours for the taking, if you're able to defeat him. So that's the Mirage League. Now, to face all the new evils, you might want some righteous skills. Some holy skills.
Aha.
In 328, you'll have access to a slew of new options to bring divine devastation and return the faithless to their rightful grave. Also introducing some supports to go with them, as well as some new transfigured gems. Let's go over a few examples. You slam the ground to call down a hammer of justice from the sky.
To nie ma cooldowna
If this
żadnego.
hits an enemy, an additional holy hammer will cascade forwards, which itself can further cascade, and so forth.
Gram tym, wyjebano.
Expending a power charge when using the skill will call down an additional 2 hammers, which can also cause cascading slams. The more numerous your foes, the more instruments of holy judgment.
Gram tym.
Sweep is an old skill. In fact, it is so old that it's one of the very first skills ever implemented in Path of Exile, over 15 years ago.
No.
It's been long overdue for some attention. With
Ładnie
328,
wygląda nowy.
it has been reworked into Holy Sweep. This skill converts some of your physical damage to lightning, with shiny new effects to match. Some enemies struck by the initial sweep will have hammers of light batter them from above. These hammers cause area damage where they land, so
Oi.
clustered enemies are demolished by repeated impacts. When successfully hitting an enemy with Holy Strike, you'll summon forth a floating holy armament, a glowing mace that follows you closely.
Boże, Liga Melatu.
These weapons are minions, and will attack with Holy Strike themselves whenever you do.
Boże, Liga
These
Melatu.
holy armaments will copy the stats of your main hand weapon to deal their damage. Stand against your foes with Shield of Light, a retaliation skill which will allow you to unleash a cone of holy light upon enemies after blocking a hit with your shield. Additional cones of light will also pour forth from your nearby allies when you hit with the skill, allowing you to recruit your holy army to create purging light. Divine Blast emits a beam of holy light from your shield, coalescing into a hovering ball of energy. A few moments later, this unstable orb bursts, exploding outward with divine power. Hello supports melee attacks,
Helix będzie miał
causing them to
konkurenta.
inflict a new debuff, Hellowing Flame. Hellowing Flame builds up as charges on enemies, getting consumed when attacked. Consuming a stack of Hellowing Flame gives the attack that consumed it a significant amount of extra fire damage. But only those who did not inflict the Hellowing Flame are able to consume it. Perfect for those of you who enjoy a more supportive playstyle with your army of holy sentinels. Or friends,
Dla milioniarza w
when
takim
they're
razie.
online. We've also added sources of this debuff to a number of other places, such as unique items, cluster jewels,
O!
and the Guardian Ascendancy class.
Wow!
We also have another batch of new transfigured gems, with many of these being variants for gems which
Oj, to muszę go
previously had none.
zobaczyć. Muszę go koniecznie zobaczyć, jak
One
on wygląda.
example is the Shockwave Totem of Authority, which casts its higher damage dealing Nova at your location instead of its own. You might also enjoy Orb of Storms of Squalls. These storms warp directly to targets when you use lightning skills, and arc lightning upon doing so. This gives you a mobile storm of destruction that follows you as you dive into battle.
Lightning Wars po dwójki.
We'll
Lol.
leave the rest of the transfigured
wygląda.
skills for you to comb through in the patch notes. Speaking of the patch notes,
Fajne.
as always, we love to shake up the meta. So we've done a bunch of balance adjustments to a few other things as well, such as a pass on bloodline classes,
Okej.
expanded the passives available to the Templar section of the passive tree, and various improvements to existing holy themed skills such as Static Strike, Holy Flame Totem,
O!
and Dominating Blow.
Holy Flame akurat jest dużym...
We're
dużą
also
nowością.
doing our usual improvement to some of the least played ascendancy classes.
Bo to pomoże w
This
kampanii
time
bardzo
with a
mocno.
focus on Guardian and Warden. Speaking of ascendancies, let's talk about the Scion and her new Reliquarian ascendancy class.
Czy coś
For
jest
those that
nowego?
have played the Legacy of Frisia events, this class will seem familiar. The
Scavenger.
Reliquarian is a learned Scion that has studied history at the Oriath Academy. She is a part of a secret society of Oriathans, dedicated to collecting and discerning the strange properties of unique items. All of her passive powers come from these unique items, found from throughout Rayclast. After ascending, first select the power of a unique armor. Victario's influence increases the level of all your auras and gives them a much larger area of effect.
O kurde,
Or instead,
poczekajcie.
take Kilowava's Bluster, giving you a chance to have extreme elemental resistance against incoming hits. Next, pick from a unique weapon power. Widow Hail greatly increases the bonuses gained from your quiver. Or Martyr's Teaching, which causes your minions' critical strike chance with attacks to be equal to your main hand weapons.
O
Lastly,
kurde,
pick your
mać.
Crown Jewel, a unique jewelry power. Astral Projector causes Nova spells to cast from enemies rather than from yourself. Or take Astramentus, simply giving you a huge boost to all your attributes. Due to all the ways you can mix and match unique powers, the Reliquarian has more flexibility in how you build it compared to any other Ascendancy class in the game. Our plan going forward is for the Reliquarian to not be a static Ascendancy class.
Myślę krótce.
And between each expansion, the unique powers which are offered will change. If you don't like what she offers this expansion, hopefully she'll have the power of your favorite unique item in the next one.
Aha, czy ona się będzie
Time to
co
move
ligę
on to the
zmieniać?
endgame.
Wow,
With this expansion, we are aiming to liven up the endgame,
fajne.
giving players new experiences, strategies to leverage, and streamlining or removing the more frustrating tasks. Extensive changes will be coming to the Atlas and how you engage with maps, without interfering with the beloved core experience that has made mapping so successful. In the last few endgame updates, you experienced Zana's story,
To prawda, Stasiu, no.
how she helped defeat the Elder, tried to stop exiles from going mad in the Atlas,
Dobra, mamy
and
kontynuację
faced
lore.
new threats pouring forth from it.
Siema, rzeźnik, witam.
In the most recent expansion, she eventually realized that there was only one way forward: to destroy the Atlas.
Tak.
Zana's recent actions have now weakened the already strained and tattered edges of its realities, reshaping how we interact with the Atlas entirely. To
Okay.
explain how this changes your interactions with the Atlas, we first want to establish some context while having a bit of a trip down memory lane.
Aha.
27 expansions ago, back in Path of Exile 3.1.0, The War for the Atlas, we had a mechanic on the Atlas where the Shaper and Elder were engaged in war. This manifested as influence regions on the Atlas that affected specific maps. The ever-changing influence regions made the Atlas feel more like a physically connected space, rather than just a fancy way of visualizing a checklist of completed maps. However, one of the main frustrations with this mechanic was that you constantly needed many different specific maps in order to manipulate the influenced regions.
To prawda.
we realized we'd love to again have mechanics that manifest physically on your atlas, but we'd have to address the issue of always needing those specific maps. The first major change we'll be making to solve this is divorcing map items from specific areas. As an example, instead of having a Mesa map, you will now find, say, a Tier 10 map. To open a Mesa map now, just locate and select Mesa on your atlas,
Nie
put in your
pierdol!
map item, click activate, and you're good to go.
Dlatego nie ma Horizon Orbów.
That Mesa may drop a Tier 11 map. You can then immediately return to your map device, which will default to the last map run, and then run it again.
Przecież robisz full atlas pierwszego dnia.
Choose a new map to use it on. It's your choice.
Czy full atlas pierwszego dnia robisz? No cap.
This is one of the many benefits to this change, which is that if you're the type of player who enjoys chaining the same map over and over, or the type of player who prefers to jump around, it is equally easy to do either strategy or even switch between them at a moment's notice. For example, if one day you're farming burial chambers, hoping to eventually get a headhunter from divination cards, and you decide you need a change of rhythm, you can seamlessly swap to your boss farming atlas tree and
Ależ
spam Mesa
wygodne.
for peak boss killing efficiency.
Ale wygodne.
Up until now, this would have required having some Mesa maps stashed, setting all your favorite maps to Mesa, or doing a whole bunch of trading. You'll also notice that the structure of the atlas has changed.
No.
If you haven't played in a while, here's a look at it before and after.
Okej, no przejrzysty
You
jest.
will now
Spoko.
begin at the center of the atlas,
Spoko.
with each corner housing one of 4 voidstone slots.
Oho.
In addition, all content accessed from your map device now exists physically on the atlas.
Gdzie jest 15 map
So you
jeszcze?
can see everything available in the endgame as you reveal the Fog of War. This also means that all unique maps are now present on the atlas,
No.
including some old favorites that are appearing for the first time. Don't worry though, you don't need to complete Hall of Grandmasters every league. You now gain 1 atlas skill point per unique map completed, up to a maximum of 10. Given there are around 20 unique maps, you only need to complete the half you want, if you can get your hands on them.
Okej.
Note, you aren't losing any atlas skill points. These have been moved to new places, and actually, you can get more than before.
I nagle Eldritch Bossy z
Due
12
to Zana's
punktów.
actions, Egan now has a new goal and is determined to stop Zana's destruction
Ej, Małku
by
jest spoko
making
akurat.
use of a mysterious new discovery, arcane astrolabes. Zana is currently traversing the threads that weave the atlas together, severing them. With these new astrolabes, Egan is able to trace her movement,
Siema Sifi.
but using them causes dangerous side effects. When you use an astrolabe on a map on the atlas, a shaped region will manifest itself in that quadrant, affecting many of the maps within it. There are many different kinds of astrolabes, and they apply different types of shaped regions. For example, an abyssal region, which causes all the maps to have an additional abyss. Or a blighted region,
A można nakładać
which
kilka
adds a
na
blight
raz?
encounter.
A to będzie
Completing
łatwe
the
teraz.
content added by the astrolabe will remove the shaped region's influence from that map.
Okej.
Upon doing so, every other map remaining in the shaped region will gain an additional modifier. This means as you progress through the shaped region, maps you run will become more and more intense, with the relevant mechanic getting more and more juiced. Finally, at the end of the region of maps, once you have successfully rid the atlas of the shaped region, Egan will take you to one of 4
Niby
memory
fajne,
vaults,
ale zmusza
where
nas
there
do
are
latania kilku
powerful
mapek
rewards to be
innych.
had.
A nie twojej ulubionej.
He cares only for the knowledge hidden within that vault, so any items are yours for the taking.
Okej.
Each vault is associated with a specific quadrant on the atlas, so you're able to target a certain vault if you're wanting to try get a specific type of reward.
Okej.
One such vault is the Archon's Vault, where you'll be rewarded with powerful unique items. Or the Zealot's Vault, to acquire valuable currency items.
To fajne akurat.
This
Czyli
new
będzie opłacało
shaped
się to
region
robić.
system is one that promotes running many different maps, But for players that want to engage with this new system while still wanting to run the same map over and over again, the synthesized stability keystone on the Atlas tree enables exactly that.
No ja chcę desynk, ja lubię.
With all the new endgame changes, we thought it would be also good to mention some handy tips and tricks for quickly navigating the new Atlas. When using the map device, the Atlas defaults to your previously run map, so running the same map over and over is as few clicks as possible.
Fajnie, wygodnie.
You can right-click unique maps or map fragments in your inventory to automatically open your Atlas to that location with the map already placed and ready to run.
Fajnie, też wygodnie.
When you select a special area that requires multiple items,
Odśwież sobie
such as
kapitan.
to fight at Zeri or open the Domain of Timeless Conflict, if you have the fragments to access that in your inventory, it will automatically add them to the map device in the
Okay.
right spot.
Kurwa,
That's the core of the new
oni to zrobią
endgame.
w PoE 2,
But there's a
zobaczycie.
lot more in-game changes coming in 3.28.
Oni to zrobią w
Let's
PoE 2.
blast through them. Over the last few expansions, we've been working on streamlining the mapping experience.
No.
And we wanted to continue to minimize busy work so you can spend more time doing what you love, killing monsters and getting loot. To that end, we've made a number of changes. We won't get into too much detail, but here's a quick summary of what you can expect to have received adjustment.
Powiedz, że drop zostaje po mapie,
We've
kurwa.
removed cartographer's chisels and map device crafts entirely.
No.
The loss of content and loot here has been compensated for in other places. Voidstones now grant special global bonuses while socketed on your Atlas, including adding the new Originator Voidstone, which enables specific Atlas bosses to drop exceptional supports. We'll elaborate more on that in the next section. T17 maps as you know it have effectively been removed.
Jezus.
The bosses have been
kurwa.
kept around, and they better fulfill their original purpose of being a gateway to target farm uber pinnacle bosses. The most annoying modifiers on Originator maps have been removed or replaced.
Chwalmy
No
pana.
more getting turned into a slug for simply using skills. And no more will you be incapable of dealing damage periodically. Petal skills in Originator maps have been removed.
Dobrze, nie bijemy
However,
już we
some
wtorki,
of
środy
their
i
effects are
piątki.
now available
Zajebiście.
from the altars and memory threads.
Ja lubię jebać te 17 i te mody.
Memory tears, instead of adding a memory thread to your Atlas, will now drop an itemized version of that thread,
Okej,
allowing you to save it for later or trade it at your leisure.
okej.
We've added new scarabs, such as this Expedition Scarab of Infusion, which can generate some truly tempting logbooks.
O, ale
And for
będziemy
those of you looking
nadrzusować
to take on the
ekspedycję.
ultimate one-on-one fight, the Anarchy Scarab of the Exceptional will place a true antagonist level rogue exile threat in your map.
To ciekawe.
Empowered by every type of Wildwood Wisp, possessed by a tormented spirit, augmented with rare monster modifiers,
Oho.
and affected by a shrine,
Oho.
this exile is not to be trifled with.
Oho.
Alongside that, we've also changed some, such as the Beyond Scarab of Resurgence, which now causes all 3 Beyond bosses to appear when a Beyond boss would spawn in your map. On top of that,
Chcieliśmy
we've
wyzwania,
made
mamy
improvements
wyzwania.
to a number of weak Atlas Tree passives,
No.
such as Pillage and Plunder, which now grants a chance for items dropped by Syndicate members to have a Fractured Veiled
O
mod.
kurde.
Check out the new The Paths Not Taken
Fractured
keystone,
Veiled
which
Modifier?
means your maps on average will drop twice as many divination cards. But which ones can drop will be a mystery.
No to może być mocne. 5% to jest
And
dużo
last,
wciąż.
but not least,
To jest dużo.
we've also made some changes to King's March shipping,
O, bardzo
such
dużo.
as we've swapped the rewards given by sending ore and crops. I wonder what this new port will send back.
Nowy port.
Ports will now give more rewards for favored
I
resources,
zmienili.
and you can even re-roll them for gold, if they're not offering what you're after.
To jest fajne w chuj.
Specific ports will now reward specific tattoos and rune grafts, making it easier to target the ones you want.
Oj, SSF-owicze się
Not
cieszą.
to mention, the Kalgurans have discovered several new powerful rune grafts for you to get your hands on,
Okej.
such as the Rune Graft of Fury, which causes you to gain rage on using a life flask, and the Rune Graft of Resurgence, which causes Arcane Surge to also grant life regeneration. We mentioned earlier about the Originator Voidstone enabling access to exceptional supports.
No nie, rolowanie kropów
So let's get into that,
w
as there's a
bliskich
decent
portach
amount to
fajne,
cover.
mocne.
After defeating the incarnations of Fear, Neglect, and Dread, you will obtain the Originator Voidstone. As mentioned earlier, this Voidstone allows new, exceptional support gems to drop from many bosses across the Atlas.
No, to nowe jest.
These new supports are an improvement over the old Awakened support system, which is being phased out. Awakened supports have long been a capstone investment for a character, but there's existed a gulf between the more interesting ones, such as Awakened Spell Cascade, which has some additional transformative effect, as opposed to some of the simpler Awakened supports, which just have slightly higher numerical values.
No.
Exceptional supports will all be transformative, serving as an additional late-game tool to customize your build around, and extending character customization and creation even later into a build's life.
O ja cię pierdolę.
One of the goals here is to provide interesting build choices even at later levels and deep into the endgame. However, we are certainly not aiming to reduce top-end player power with these changes.
No.
Exceptional supports will still be super strong. If used well, they will catapult your character even further than before. So, how many are there, and what exactly do they do? There are over 40 new exceptional supports to discover,
Chain fork.
adding additional enticing drops to bosses that may otherwise have felt not as worthwhile to run,
Od Ignite'a.
giving players extra reason to take on those challenges.
Burning damage, point blank. Cooling chyba
For
tam był.
instance, from the King in the Mists, we have the Hex Toad support. This support creates areas of swampy cursed ground, which spawns toads that bounce towards enemies and then explode, dealing chaos damage. From the Uber Elder, we have the Void Storm support,
Oh,
which
kurwa.
causes your raining attacks to create celestial storms of energy that grow over time, detonating as you approach for massive damage. Defeating the incarnation of Neglect may win you the Frost Mage support. Similar to the existing Archmage support, you are rewarded for stacking mana to enhance your spells with extraordinary cold damage. We'll tease some more of these before launch, but there will be many, many more for you to discover
Instacker pod to gówno będzie pojebany przecież.
coming back. However, we do know that many players have issues with the walls in Hive encounters.
Tak, o Jezus.
In order to address these concerns, we'll be making a number of changes. One of the biggest problems is that walls would block your projectiles, meaning that when a hive randomly spawned in your map, it would make it harder to clear. In order to prevent that, walls and hive encounters will now be destroyed by any damage. But we also wanted to make sure we reduce the visual clutter they cause.
No.
Hives and their walls are now smaller. To allow players to engage with hive encounters quicker when they do want to help Aelith, we've added a new Atlas passive which drastically increases the detonation area of unstable burrows, causing them to reliably chain react and destroy the majority of remaining walls.
Okej.
For those who don't want to deal with the walls at all, there's now a pair of keystones that allow you to block hive encounters or unstable breaches
To fajne
if you
jest.
want.
To fajne jest.
Now that this is a core league, we don't want you to have to grow your Genesis tree from scratch on every league start. So now, each womb gift slot is already usable by default, and access to the Monastery of the Keepers will be gained by finding Aelith starting in Act 6 Mudflats.
Okej, w akcie 6 mutlace.
Now with Atlas Tree and Scarab support, you can have multiple unstable breach encounters active in a single area, for maximum ruckus.
Fajne.
Speaking of Atlas Tree and Scarab support, we've added plenty. Here are a few examples. The Massing Forces Atlas notable grants a chance to have additional unstable breaches in your maps. The Breach Scarab of the Marshal guarantees a breach boss or Hive Fortress, while the Breach Scarab of the Incensed Swarm replaces all of Aelith's skills with Enrage the Hive, increasing the difficulty and reward from Hive monsters
Oj,
in all
to
subsequent
fajne.
waves. Graft items will no longer exist,
To
but
fajne.
we've moved several of the graft skills to new exceptional supports,
No.
such as the Hiveborn support. which summons an army of breach minions to do your bidding when you use a supported offering skill. And the Foul Grasp support, which calls forth a field of grasping breach hands when you recall brands, exploding for heavy lightning damage when enemies approach them.
Czyli łapki, supporty.
We're looking forward to seeing how these improvements and additions are received, alongside a lot of what Keepers also has to offer. From the new bosses and their bloodline, through to the Genesis tree and its many different crafting options, like Foulborn uniques. Also with its new narrative, we look forward to extrapolating on all of this and learning more about Aelith, the Hiveborn, and its Breach Lords in the future.
No.
That covers all the new content we're adding, and that was a lot. From a new in-game system, several new reward types, new ways to juice maps, all of which you can double up in the new Mirage League, and all that alongside a suite of new holy skills, a new ascendancy class, and an insane amount of new character
Nie no, jak sektor
customization in the
fajnie,
endgame.
dużo fajnych zmian jest, dobre zmiany
However,
są.
an important part of Path of Exile expansions is making sure there is a continued effort to improve quality of life. So let's get into that now.
Dobre zmiany, bardzo dobre
You
zmiany
can now
są.
favorite trades on the currency
No
exchange.
to już było.
This consists of selecting two currencies that you want to be able to trade between with a single click, and setting them as a favorite trade. Favorite trades will appear by default on opening the currency exchange, and will still auto-suggest a ratio...
Tak, to co Desync mówi, to już było. Jak wybierzemy unstable breache, to nie będzie ścian raczej, nie? A tak to nie mówili, że ściany będą mogły być usunięte przy dostaniu obojętnie jakiego damage'a, ale to dalej jest takie... Ale unstable breachem no okej.
Trading in a full set of divination cards, it will automatically be handed in to become the resultant item. If you then turn in another set immediately, the reward from the previous set will be transferred to your inventory directly, assuming there's enough free space to do so. Labyrinth font crafts that previously gave a random transfigured gem now allow you to choose which transfigured gem of that type you'd like to receive. The asynchronous trade item sale history is now hoverable, with full item descriptions of the sold item. When using Divine Orbs, you
Zajebista
can
liga
now
będzie.
tell exactly which modifiers can be randomized.
Zajebista liga będzie, szczerze. Podoba mi się.
The ritual icon will now glow if you've got significant unspent tribute in an area and all rituals are complete. And a pop-up will appear after the final ritual completion.
No, bardzo dużo.
Also on the topic of ritual, you can now quick use vessels on completed rituals. Have you ever tried to click a divine shrine, surrounded by enemies, and find it extremely difficult
Kurde,
to
fajny
click?
throwback do 3.0, co?
Shrines now take priority over monsters when clicking in an area they overlap.
Zajebiście, ja się jaram.
Since 3.24, we've been looking to add new ways to improve the
Fajnie,
campaign
podoba mi się, jestem ciekaw tego
experience,
Atlasa bardzo.
and 3.28
Atlasu.
is no different. This patch, we've added over 20 landmark rooms throughout the campaign.
Ty, ale gdzie Mercenaries? Czekamy na mercy jeszcze.
Some of these reward some pretty useful stuff. So keep an eye out for the new and unexpected rooms, side passages, chests, and encounters as you progress throughout Rayclast. We want most of these to be a surprise, but we'll show you just one. There is now a small central island in the Karui fortress,
Prawda, Joyboy?
all inhabitants of which will drop a basic tattoo when slain. Next up, we're going to be talking about our new supporter packs.
I nie będzie mercu.
We're launching two new series of
Yikes.
supporter packs. The Curator of Wisdom and Iron Incarcerator packs.
No.
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Curator of Wisdom series of supporter packs contains 7 exclusive microtransactions.
To ładne.
The Traveling Wisdom back attachment has all the necessary tools you may require to chronicle your journey, complete with a helpful rat friend. These chronicles will activate their magic upon identifying items, and will track the number of items identified of each rarity.
Okej.
Just hover the item, or link it in chat to show it off.
Okej.
The Acquired Wisdom Unique Finisher effect summons an ancient scroll that consumes unique enemies and the knowledge they hold. Most exiles would struggle carrying piles of scrolls while traveling Rayclast, but the Grand Curator of Wisdom armor set is perfect for the adventurous scholar.
Ale jest ten klimat nomadzki,
Any
spoko.
expert curator knows that scrolls hold more than just knowledge. They also hold power.
Wygląda jakby z Hogwartsu spierdolił trochę, nie?
Scrolls attached to the armor will burn away before rematerializing shortly after.
Okej.
It also features a series of helmet variations, so you can get precisely the look you're after.
O, fajne.
Summon your Scroll Shaper familiar pet to follow alongside you. This creature is formed from folded magical texts and can shapeshift between different forms. You can think of this as having multiple pets in one. It can fold into a fox and then even burn away, reforming into a flying bird.
Ładne. Origami pet spoko.
This series of packs also contains the Scroll Portals. Jumbo-sized versions of the Scroll of Wisdom and Portal Scroll that you can make a quick retreat through.
Ładne, ale za $90
A
dopiero.
supreme catalogue of knowledge can't remain in one place for too long and risk being pillaged by thieves. The Titan Apex Hideout
Fajne.
features a colossal titan who carries your base of operations atop their shoulders,
O kurwa, ale
constantly
fajne.
moving through a boundless desert. The Iron Incarcerator pack also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Ja pierdolę.
The Incarcerator's Restraints back attachment features stockades that were used to immobilize prisoners by binding them to the earth as they were tortured for their wrongdoings. Shackles envelop your choice of torturing device when using the Chains of the Incarcerator weapon effect.
To ładne jest.
These chains shatter into links as you batter enemies.
Weapon efekcik ładny.
Make your way through Red Class as a walking penitentiary, intimidating your enemies with the elite Iron Incarcerator armor set. After a long day of tracking down criminals, step into the Iron Maiden portal to retreat to your torture chamber.
Wow. Wygląda
It
jak ten
acts as
z
a
Pulp
great
Fiction.
deterrent for would-be intruders.
Pimp z Pulp Fiction to był.
This peculiar creature was a favorite amongst incarcerators. They would be sent into the midst of prison riots to mesmerize and control the toughest of minds. Use their talents to charm other players' pets, causing them to abandon their owners and follow in line behind you instead, at least until it wears off. What better way to execute prisoners when your torturing has depleted their value? Harvest their souls to fuel this map device,
Kurde, ten dużo
condemning
fajniejszy
them to
imo.
eternal incarceration.
Dużo fajniejszy imo.
Your kills within the map are also recorded based on the rarity of the monster. You can choose to pin an execution session that you're satisfied with on this miniature leaderboard, which is
No.
displayed for all that dare enter your hideout.
Dużo fajniejszy ten.
Additionally, all microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2.
O,
Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
a to nie, ja wolę drugi.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D.
Ta, to jest $90, nie?
Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile Mirage at 11 a.m. New Zealand time,
zapisuję się
2
desek.
p.m. Pacific. With release at the end of next week,
Ziggy
our
D,
community
let's
team
go.
will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release.
No dobra.
The news.
No to, panowie i panie, sporo nam się sprawdziło. Powiem szczerze. Nowy skill na CD-ku? Nie. Merce wracają? Nie. Ściany w Bleach out. Arce z Pretzla wchodzą do gry. Wszedł ten nowy, tak? Dla Sionki. Go z lewej, więc de facto nie. No nie. Rework Sionki? Tak. Revamp Atlasu? Tak. Kirak Rework? No tak, to już nie ma nie ma już scrolli i nie ma prawdopodobnie już questów Kiraka, tak? Więc zakładam, że tak. Zana plus Kirak, no nie współpracują, nie? Z chuj w dupę. Nowe bossy? Tak, bo jest Saresz. Rework Abyssu? Nie. Idole Atlasu? Nie. Zmiana progresji mapek? Tak. Nowe skaraby? Tak. Nowa mechanika? Tak. Profesji wraca? No nie. System Wishów i Drinów? Tak. De facto tak. Za rok w po jeden było coś chyba o za roku, nie? Było czy nie było? Coś się pojawiło na chwilę o za roku, ale co konkretnie? No, dam tak. Sarysz tak. Asala nie. Nowe orby supporty tak. Nowe zaklęcia tak. Cofanie się w czasie? No nie. Hourglass Trial na mapie. No i takie nie, no bo to de facto wchodzimy do portalu, to jest ten Mirage i cofa nam się wszystko w czasie, zachowując wszystkie rzeczy z środka, z okręgu, więc trochę można uznać, że tak, ale raczej wiadomo, że chodziło nam coś innego, nie? No i Mirage skille jak najbardziej. I taki nie, Holy skille dodali, więc jeden skill był na CD-ku. No to jeżeli tak zrobimy, to i tak jest w dupę, nie? Mirage skill na żółto daj, no Holy skille weszły, ale to możemy podciągnąć, nie? Tak samo ściany w Breachu można podciągnąć. Także tak to się prezentuje. Sporo się zgadzało i tak. Ej, cofanie się w czasie na upartego. Dobra, na upartego, stop. Na upartego. Jeżeli traktujemy mechanikę ligową, że idziemy do tego Mirażu i to się wszystko odwraca jeszcze raz i poszliśmy, że Hourglass to jest też to mamy dół, ale wiadomo. Naciągane mamy.